Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bets Today, your #1 spot for smart betting strategies. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that sounds almost too good to be true: arbitrage betting. You've probably heard whispers about it, maybe seen it mentioned in forums and wondered, is this for real? Can you actually guarantee a profit? Well, stick around, because in the next 10 minutes we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what arbitrage betting is, how it works, and whether it's the golden ticket to beating the bookies. And trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of this. If you're serious about taking your betting game to the next level, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the bell so you never miss out on our expert insights. Let's get started. So, what exactly is arbitrage betting? In the simplest terms, it's a strategy that involves placing bets on all possible outcomes of an event across different bookmakers to lock in a profit, regardless of who wins. Sounds like magic, right? Well, it's not magic, it's math. Bookmakers are all competing for your business, and sometimes their odds for the same event don't quite line up. This difference, this tiny crack in the system, is where the opportunity for arbitrage or an Arb appears. Think of it like this. One shop is selling apples for $1, and another shop right next door is willing to buy them for $1.10. You'd buy from the first and sell to the second all day long for a guaranteed profit. That's the core principle of arbitrage betting. You're exploiting price discrepancies in the market. Let's break it down with a simple example. Imagine a tennis match between player A and player B. Bookmaker 1 has odds of 2.10 for player A to win. At the same time, Bookmaker 2 is offering odds of 2.10 for player B to win. This is a perfect arbitrage opportunity. If you place $100 on player A at Bookmaker 1 and $100 on player B at Bookmaker 2, you've staked a total of $200. Now, let's see what happens. If player A wins, your bet at Bookmaker 1 pays out $210. You've made a $10 profit. If player B wins, your bet at Bookmaker 2 pays out $210. Again, a $10 profit. No matter the result, you've locked in a profit. This is the beauty of a true Arb. It's a risk-free investment, assuming you place the bets correctly and quickly. Now, you might be thinking, if it's so easy, why isn't everyone doing it? That's a great question, and there are a few reasons. First, these opportunities, or Arbs, are rare, and they don't last long. Bookmakers have sophisticated software that constantly monitors their competitors' odds. As soon as they spot a discrepancy that creates an ARB, they adjust their own odds to close the gap. We're talking seconds, maybe minutes at most. So, speed is absolutely critical. You have to be able to find the RB, calculate your stakes, and place your bets across multiple platforms almost instantly. This is why many serious arbitrage bettors use specialized software, often called RB finders or scanners, which automatically scan hundreds of bookmakers in real time to flag these opportunities. Another major challenge is account limitations. Bookmakers are businesses, and their goal is to make money. They are not fans of arbitrage bettors who consistently take value out of their market. While arbitrage betting isn't illegal, it's definitely against the terms and conditions of most bookmakers. If they identify you as an arbor, they can, and often will, limit your account. This means they might restrict the maximum amount you can stake on a bet, sometimes to just a few dollars, making arbitrage practically impossible. They might even close your account altogether. So, how do they spot you? Placing bets with very specific, non-rounded stake amounts like $97.53 is a huge red flag. Always betting on obscure markets or leagues and consistently winning small, guaranteed profits can also get you flagged. Flying under the radar is a game in itself. So, how do you find these Arbs without getting your accounts shut down? First, you need to be organized. This means having funded accounts with multiple different bookmakers. The more bookies you're signed up with, the higher the chance you'll be able to capitalize on an odds difference between them. At a minimum, you'd want 5 to 10 different accounts ready to go. Second, As we mentioned, speed is everything. By the time you manually compare odds and pull out a calculator, the opportunity is likely gone. This is where RB finding software becomes essential for anyone serious about this. These services usually come with a subscription fee, but they do the heavy lifting for you, presenting the Arbs, the bookmakers involved, and even the exact stakes you need to place for a balanced profit. It turns a needle in a haystack search into a clear, actionable list. Let's talk about the calculations, because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. While the tennis example was simple, most Arbs aren't a neat 50-50 split. The software will do this for you, but it's crucial to understand the math behind it. The core idea is to check if the implied probabilities of the odds add up to less than 100%. To get the implied probability from decimal odds, you just divide 1 by the odds. For our tennis example, 1 divided by 2.10 is about 47.6%. Since both players had odds of 2.10, the total implied probability was 47.6% plus 47.6%, which equals 95.2%. Because this is less than 100%, an ARB exists. That remaining 4.8% is your guaranteed profit margin. An arbitrage calculator will take this percentage and tell you precisely how to split your total stake between the two outcomes to guarantee the same profit no matter what. Now, let's address the risks, because no strategy is completely foolproof. The biggest risk is a palpable error, or a PALP. This is when a bookmaker makes an obvious mistake in their odds. Say they listed odds of 20.0 instead of 2.0. If you place a bet on this, they have the right, stated in their terms and conditions, to void that bet. If you've placed the other side of your ARB at another bookmaker, and that first bet gets voided, you're no longer in a risk-free position. You're now left with a massive, uncovered bet on one outcome. This can be devastating. Another risk is odds changing while you're placing the bets. You might successfully place the first bet, but by the time you get to the second bookie, the odds have dropped, and the ARB has vanished. Again, you're left exposed. This is why speed and precision are paramount. So, is arbitrage betting worth it? It depends on your goals and your bankroll. The profit margins on individual Arbs are usually very small, typically in the range of 1% to 5%. This means to make significant money, you need to be placing a large volume of bets or have a very large bankroll to stake. For a 2% ARB, a total stake of $100 would net you $2. To make $100 profit, you'd need to stake a total of $5,000. It's a game of high volume and small, consistent gains. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires dedication, discipline, a good starting capital, and an acceptance of the risks, like account closures and palpable errors. It's less like traditional betting and more like a form of financial trading. To wrap things up, arbitrage betting is a real, legitimate strategy to guarantee profits by exploiting discrepancies in bookmaker odds. It is a mathematical approach that removes luck from the equation. However, it's a challenging endeavor. It requires speed, organization, multiple bookmaker accounts, and often the use of paid RB-finding software. You also face the constant threat of having your accounts limited or closed. It's a grind, not a jackpot. The profits are small but consistent, and it demands a significant bankroll and a lot of discipline to be successful. It's not for the casual weekend bettor. It's for the dedicated individual who is willing to treat it like a serious business. What do you think? Have you ever tried arbitrage betting? Let me know your experiences and questions in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive into arbitrage betting here on Bets Today. I hope this cleared up some of the myths and gave you a realistic look at what it takes to succeed. If you found this video helpful and want more content that gives you a real edge, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video. We're committed to helping you become a smarter, more informed bettor. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.